Welcome to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Jeff, DiVeronica and Steve Bradley here with the Pittsford Sutherland girls basketball team, here to talk about the Knights and the season they have ahead of them, as well as the Rainbow Classic. This will take place on Thursday at the U of R Palestra. If you don't know what that is, it's, to me, one of the great nights in Section 5 every single year. It's Mendon against Sutherland, and I know that's two schools in one district, but it's the best of high school sports, and it's going to a great cause. Over the last 20 plus years, I think it started in 2001. They've raised more than $500,000 for Golisano Children's Hospital. So we'll talk to Coach Dan Judd and a couple of his seniors, Brandt Madigan and Lara Brandt of the Knights, about what that night is like for them. They've played in one. We'll talk about COVID too, because I don't know if it happened at all, but we'll talk with Coach Judd about that too. Steve, the Knights are it's a mixed bag so far. They're 3-2 as we record this, and they won their first three over Irondequoit, Batavia, and Brockport. They've dropped a couple in a row to Thomas and a good Livonia team. So, but I know this, Steve, there might be reinforcements coming on the way. Ellie Bergen, one of their top players last year, AGR, 19 or 20 points, 10 rebounds a game, is rehabilitating from an ACL, torn in the April, and they're hopeful she comes back this season. It'll be a big piece for them. So I'm hopeful they're going to be good and even better. Well, let's ask Coach Judd about that. Dan, welcome back to the program. How are you, sir?
Good, thanks, Jeff. Good to be back.
What is the update on Ellie? Obviously, one of the best players in Section 5, and terrible to see the injury happen last year during lacrosse. But where does it stand? And then we'll talk about some of the other players on this roster too.
She's been working through her rehab, working with the PT, and she's been cleared for non-contact for the last few weeks. Looks good with all the non-contact stuff, but she's got to clear that next hurdle.
And Jeff, you know where we go with the basketball season. It really kind of breaks into three parts, as we talked about. There's the Thanksgiving to New Year's stretch. There's New Year's to the end of the regular season, and then there's sectionals. So Dylan, as Jeff mentioned, great start for you. Won your first three. A couple setbacks recently. What's this team learning about itself as it grows and as the season, is kind of encapsulated itself 1 month in?
I think that we're just learning how to, again, turn over these losses into the next game, and just moving on and learning from those games and using those lessons into our future games. Because I know coming up, we have a harder schedule, some hard games coming up, and these teams that we have played, they're very good, and we can just use the lessons that we've learned into the future games.
Yeah, some young players doing well for you. I know Lara Cook has led you in scoring, a junior guard, in 4 of the first 5 games. She's averaging about 18 points a game. That's almost double from last year. Lara, where have you seen her growth over the last year, Lara, and what's she doing better this year or more of that she wasn't doing a year ago?
I mean, honestly, it's just been exciting to see her improve over the past year. I think she came to a lot of the things over the summer, and I got to see her improve over the summer. I know she's been working outside Sutherland's gym too. So it's just, I think just her moves have gotten stronger. She's going stronger to the basket. She's not avoiding contact. I feel like she's going into contact and drawing fouls as well. And you can tell that her foul shots are also improving, and she's sinking more of them.
And Jeff mentioned the Rainbow Classic is this week. It's kind of a great cap off to that first month of the season. And I know last year you needed to move it to February. And, it's Sutherland, it's Mendon. You got all the fans and the students coming back. And the UR Palestra is such a unique building with so much history. What's it like, that night experience from the sidelines? And I think, Jeff, that'd be a fair question to ask the girls too. But from a coaching standpoint, Dan, what's that night like?
There's so much lead up to it. It's so much excitement in the school during the week. So the whole week is a theme week. We have like pajama day tomorrow, and there'll be another psych on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, then a big pep rally on Thursday. So there's a tremendous amount of energy in the school. And then when you get to the game, it goes fast. That's the one thing that I remember all the time, is it just goes so fast when you get on that court. And the atmosphere is unreal because it's so loud. It's just, we're not used to playing in front of 1,500 people, and the way that court sets up and that sunk in like that, it's just a wonderful, incredible atmosphere.
I remember covering it as a reporter for the Democrat Chronicle. And I remember my story focused on just, it felt like I was in Cameron Indoor Stadium at Duke University. Just everyone's on top of you. It's electric. Dylan, I know you were able to play in this last year. It was a different, it wasn't on a nighttime, so all your graduates weren't back. And girls, was there a game for COVID or no?
We didn't do it at U of R. We did one game at Sutherland.
Okay.
Obviously not the same atmosphere, but we just had a Mendon Sutherland game as a fundraiser for the U of R. Boys and girls doubleheader, and then but just at Sutherland.
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock, I believe, at the times. Probably a little after 8 for the boys on Thursday night. So, Dylan, what's it like for the players to be out there?
Well, I definitely think at first, stepping onto the court, it's overwhelming. You have people on everywhere you look, but you can just feel the energy right when you step on the court. And it's something you'll never get to experience. And I know a lot of our younger girls are very nervous, but it's when you start playing, it's like you start to not realize the noise and you just focus on the game, and it just is a fun experience for both sides, both teams. And it's definitely a once in a lifetime experience for some people.
Lara, what are you looking forward to the most about Thursday night and that atmosphere? I mean, as Coach said, it's 32 minutes and it flies by, but I remember when I got married like 27 years ago, somebody said, hey, take a minute, just you and your wife at the table and stand back and watch and soak it all in so you can appreciate the moment. Is that something that you and your teammates do, or you want to do just to remember it, because you're doing such a great thing for the community and it's more than a game?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a proud moment to be playing for such a great cause. And the last time I played for a regular Rainbow Classic was my freshman year. So I'm definitely excited to have like a normal Rainbow Classic once again. And yeah, it will be nerve-wracking, but you can use those nerves for excitement and just play the game, because I'm so excited for it. I think it will be a great game.
Well, by the way, it's against the arch rival. It's against girls that you grew up playing with and against from Pittsford Mendon. And I don't know the number, but I'm going to guess that it's been a couple of years since you beat them, Dan.
Yeah, it's been 8.
How many?
8.
8. He knows. He knows the number. Okay. And I know that they're not as a veteran team the way they used to be. They got some younger players. So, Dan, how do you size up the Vikings, Coach Julian's Vikings? I know that you and Todd Julian came in 23 years ago at the same time into your respective coaching positions. And I didn't think you'd still be coaching 23 years later. We'll talk about that in a minute. But how good is Pittsford Mendon this year?
I didn't know I'd be doing this for 23 years either. It's so they're 3-0. Right, they're off to a really good start. They've they lost obviously all their 5 starters from last year. They're not as daunting as they were, but they're still Mendon. They still have many of the same characteristics. They still defend really well. They still play their patented man-to-man defense. They're still very good on the boards, rebound the ball really well, and are disciplined offensively.
We will take a quick break and come back. I'll talk a little more about the Rainbow Classic and what the money goes toward. I also want to talk a little more about your roster, Coach, and
Sure.
ladies. And I also want to get your impressions of a very good Livonia team that I think, based on what we've seen, might be able to make a pretty good run in the sectionals and beyond. So I'll take a quick break. You're watching us on Rock Sports Now. It's the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show.
The best 3 things here at McQuaid are definitely the sports, the brotherhood, and the service to community. I think that's a really big, important thing that McQuaid stresses, which is part of creating a better and great man. You definitely feel a connection with your fellow students here. It's being all guys school. You're able to relate to each other on a personal level, and everyone's very welcoming here with open arms and willing to be your friend.
While we celebrate 140 years of serving our community, the kind of delicious joy that lasts a lifetime, We look forward to serving you for 140 more. With hardworking, wholehearted, passionate people who will help shape new memories for generations to come.
You don't choose to get hurt at work, but you can choose the workers' comp attorneys at Connors and Ferris to fight for your money and medical benefits you deserve.
With over 20 years of industry experience, we will give your case our undivided attention so that you and your family can focus on your recovery.
So call Connors and Ferris, the workers' comp attorneys dedicated to fighting for injured workers' rights.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Hi, this is Jeff DiVeronica. I'd like to tell you about my friends from Doyle Security. We lost my father-in-law a few years ago, and that meant my mother-in-law was going to be alone in her house. One of my first calls was to Doyle. Doyle has an award-winning burglary detection system, and that gave her peace of mind again. It gave her comfort. These days, you can't put a price tag on that. Whether it's for your family or yourself, at any stage of your life, Doyle is there for you. For seniors, Doyle offers a personally enabled GPS emergency response system. They have a full array of smart systems, including fire and carbon monoxide detection, security cameras, and more for your home or business. More than 35,000 families and businesses rely on Doyle every day and every night. Family owned and operated for more than 100 years, you don't have that kind of staying power unless you're doing something right. To learn more, call 1-866-GO-DOYLE or visit godoyle.com.
Local McDonald's operators care about our local schools, teams, and student athletes. That's why they support the return of high school athletics in the Rochester area and around the state. See you before or after the big game at McDonald's. Welcome back, Section 5. Game on!
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Jeff DiVeronica and Steve Bradley. My 20th year doing this show. Used to be on the radio for about 18 years, the last couple here on YouTube. And Steve, it's your second full-time year with me, right? You did a couple fill-in times though, right?
Yep. We did. We're kind of the post-COVID edition.
And as we come in back to break, I want to recognize Coach Judd as our G&G Fitness Coach of the Week. It's not about wins and losses, this award. It's about a coach who makes the difference in the lives of young people. And I know you've been doing that for more than 2 decades. I also know you're a heck of a coach. And I say that even though I think it's 2 Section 5 titles in 22 years, right?
Correct.
People go, wow, that's not a lot. But I will tell you that there haven't been a lot of teams that aren't very good at Sutherland. I'll also tell you that the 2 teams that won states for Sutherland, ladies, these were 2 of the, I think the best teams, the pieces all fit together, right? And maybe, Lara, I can ask you about the roles of you have on this team, and all the players on those state championship teams that Coach had, they knew their roles. Coach, first, congrats on the award, being our G&G Fitness Coach of the Week. But is there a way that you try to get kids to buy into knowing what their roles are, that maybe you do better now than you didn't do before? How do you do it, Dan?
That's a great question. First, thanks for the award. That's really nice. The roles thing, that's one of the challenging pieces, especially this year. We haven't had the same starting lineup in back-to-back games yet. We've really, we have 4 seniors, one of whom's injured. 3 juniors, 2 sophomores, a freshman, and 2 8th graders. And so we're all really trying to figure out how these pieces fit together. And as you remember back to those other teams, especially the 2006 state championship team, that team was kind of malleable like that too. So, and with this Mendon game coming so early in the year, we're still sorting that stuff out. So roles are evolving, and and we're starting to get the pieces put together, but it's a process. And as Steve said, get past the new year, then we'll probably have more answers.
And so, Larry, as a senior on this team and as a leader, with so much in flux, what's your leadership style? How do you do what you do to get this team to be the best it can be?
I would just say trying to be there for everyone, especially like the younger girls who haven't been on the team as long as like others have, and just like trying to be there, like, and hyping everyone up when they get down on themselves. You can tell like when you mess up, you just got to get right back into it. You can't dwell on that mistake and just move forward. So just helping your teammates get through that and just being there for everyone, I'd say.
You know, we'll talk about the Rainbow Classic coming up Thursday night at the UR Palestra, 6 and 8 p.m. for the girls and boys games, Mendon against Sutherland, of course. But, you know, just 4 seniors, and one of them's injured, Ellie Bergen, and then Caitlin, her sister, and then you two. And I'm assuming that without Ellie there, obviously other people have had to step up. And some of these other younger players, Leora Cook averaging 18 points a game, junior center Eden Lewis averaging almost 10 a game. She's 6'2", and then sophomore Cecilia Pinato Calvo almost 10 points per game. Dylan, has it? You know, never want to say an injury helps anyone else, but girls have had to do more. Have you seen other girls step up because Ellie's not there for you, and in what ways?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, having Ellie out is so unfortunate, and she's making her way back to recovery very fast and very well. I think players like Leora Cook, she has definitely stepped up as a leader, not only as that, as well as a player herself, again, scoring as much as she does on both sides of the court on offense, playing strong defense. She is definitely a key factor in our press that we run. And then Cecilia, her first year here from Spain, she came in preseason, and she really stepped it up, and we really saw a score develop for sure. And Eden also from last season has been developing all throughout summer. I know that she plays AAU. So with that help, and then probably doing some other stuff outside of season, she's also stepped up as well to become a strong scorer for us.
Steve,
Dylan,
let me ask
Dylan
one
did a
quick.
great job breaking them down, Jeff. Coach, one thing we usually do when we have guests on the show is we ask the coach to tell us a little bit specifically about our two guests. So what do Lara and Dylan bring to the table from a standpoint as leaders and players on the court?
I'm really glad you asked that question. If you didn't ask it, I was gonna raise it myself. These two kids, along with Ellie and Caitlin, I refer to them as the core four, to use a reference from the Yankee teams as a non-Yankee fan. We were, the program after 2015, we had a few dark years there where we weren't very successful, and our numbers weren't great. And these 4 kids have really led the program back. I started coaching them in 7th grade in the youth program, and and they've just been a great group of kids. They're so inclusive. They're great with the young kids. It's the best group of leaders that I've had in years, and maybe ever. They keep it fun. They keep it light. They help everyone with whatever they need. And like I said, with a roster so diverse like this, this is the most diverse roster I've had in terms of age. With 2 8th graders, a kid that just came here. I mean, it's just all this stuff and then our leading scorer and rebounder from a year ago being out. Everything's fluid, and these guys have been just the glue that's held this together throughout the off season. We do a ton of stuff in the summer and the fall, and these guys have been great at getting there. Dylan's going to go to Cornell to play lacrosse, and even though she is a Division I athlete, she's still at all this stuff. She comes to every basketball thing she can come to, and that really sets and the same with Ellie and Caitlin, and they set that tone, and Lara too. Their number, I think actually Lara from our returning players had the highest number, the best participation in the summer of all the workout stuff. So I can't say enough about these kids setting the tone for all of the younger kids in the program.
Lara, your turn to talk about our coach of the week here, Coach Judd. 10 years from now, when they say, what was Coach Judd like? What do you think you'll remember the most? And I guess what makes him, in your opinion, such an effective coach who's been around doing this for 22 years and getting kids to buy in what he's telling?
Well, I think the fact that he coached me when I played CYP, coached all 4 of us when we played CYP. I've grown a pretty strong relationship where I can trust him with pretty much anything. And I think on and off the court, I have him no matter what, as a person to talk to and turn to. He's been supportive every time he's ever needed to be supportive, and he's been on our backs every time he needs to get on us and when we need to step up and be and do what we need to do. So I think he's always known when, like, what role he has to play and when he has to play it.
Dylan, coach mentioned that you play lacrosse and that you're going to Cornell. So I've got a two-parter for you. First of all, congratulations. Why Cornell? And secondly, if you play lacrosse for Pittsford, that's a combined team. So Thursday night, you may be an opponent to some people that are your teammates in the spring. What is that like for you when that happens?
So to answer your first question, thank you again for when I first toured, so going through the recruiting process as a junior, I toured a lot of schools, talked to a lot of coaches, and just talking to the coach at Cornell, my future coach. She had qualities that I've seen in coaches such as Judd, and that have coached me for years that I've loved. And her philosophy, her coaching, it really just followed what I want in a coach. Want to coach me to get better and for my future, as well as I know that their team atmosphere there is great, their team culture, and again, just like the team at Sutherland, our team, it's exactly what I'm looking for. And so that's so excited to go next year and play. And I'm actually going with Ellie Burgeon, who's also committed there, so that's even better.
Wow, that's a 2-for-1 for the Big Red. That and the education at Cornell too. That's not bad either.
Oh, that was definitely a bonus. And then
go ahead, Dylan.
Oh, I was just going to talk about the playing lacrosse with some of the teammates on Mendon. Actually, we talk about this game at practice last spring all the time. It's always a top of the conversation, and we like poke fun at each other, and it's a running joke. But we know that when we play each other, it's just another game. We see them as, we're the team that we're trying to beat. But once that game ends, we're back to be teammates. I mean, I'll see them that following Sunday at Pittsford lacrosse practice. And it's just it's still a fun game for us. So I think that just makes it one Pittsford. That's what we like to call it.
And, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the Rainbow Classic honors the memory of two former students in the district, Caitlin Paisley and also Sutherland High School graduate Ryan McCluskey. They're the reason this game started and happens and continues on. And just kudos to the whole Pittsburgh community and what they do to raise money for Golisano Children's Hospital. Over the years, money from this event has gone to the pediatric intensive care unit, new patient room, child and adolescent eating disorder program, the teen lounge, and a lot more. Obviously, it's the worst thing is whenever you're in the hospital and it's children, it's even worse. So again, kudos to the Pittsburgh community and for your whole group, what you all do. It should be a great atmosphere Thursday night. I got to get away with a couple more questions to Coach here. Coach, you're going to be getting back at some point, probably. Your best player and other players have developed more. How excited are you that when Ellie does come back, where the ceiling for this team could go?
Yeah, the combination of the potential for Ellie to come back and this team to mature together. There's, like I said, there's so many young players and so much young talent. It's just I'm really excited to see this team grow through the year. Even though we dropped the one to Livonia on Saturday, it was honestly walked away with it was a really good experience. It was a good game for us. Great growing experience. I thought we really competed, weathered a lot of adversity, and learned a lot. And so as we, it's really, you can't harp on losses in December. You got to, it's really the process building throughout the year to get to February in the best shape you can be. And getting Ellie back would be a huge piece of that. She would add so much toughness and leadership on the court, and to combine that with the rest of the team getting better and better, it's exciting for sure.
And you mentioned Livonia, and Livonia, as far as small school sports tradition in Section 5, it's right up there. Their girls basketball program, coached by the legendary Karen Schuster. They've got a pretty good player named Kylie Buckley down there. For those people that may not see the whole scope of Section 5, what impressed you about the Bulldogs and about Kylie Buckley?
Yeah, Kylie's a handful. So she had 35 yesterday. Last year we played them, lost them in a close game, kind of like this. Our strategy last year was really to keep her in check, and I think we held her to 13 or 15, and other kids just went off, and we lost by 5. Yesterday we played them more straight up, hoping to just not let others get going. But Kylie ended up with 35, and a couple other kids had some really timely shots that really made the difference. But Karen does a great job. They're really well organized. We tried to turn them over, and we had some success with that, but they made enough plays in the back end of our press to punish us a little bit, especially in the third quarter. We took a lead early in the third, and then they had 4 jump shots in a row that kind of put them over the top. They're really well coached, great program. It's a pleasure to play down there. A great crowd too. The place was packed.
I think she had 17 rebounds too, so that's pretty important. Well, girls, thank you so much for making some time for us for this and talking about the importance of the Rainbow Classic and what it means to your teams. It'll be a pretty good boys game too, but Mendon and Sutherland getting after it. I know both of them would be pretty evenly matched, certainly this season there. So, and who knows, maybe 8 is enough for the streak against Mendon, ladies. They don't remember what 8 is enough was. 8 Enough was once a very popular TV show, 8 is Enough. So I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. But anyway,
it's a great reference.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan. Good seeing you again, buddy.
Yeah, it's you too, Jeff. Always a pleasure.
Again, and thank you. Whenever I needed someone to give me some information on Winona County, and I had somebody wasn't getting me the preview sheet. Dan was the coordinator. Are you still the coordinator?
Yeah, Mark and I are still doing it.
Yeah, so it's big help to the media on many levels, and obviously two magical seasons. That both times you won sectionals, you took it all the way, and obviously in 2014, your daughters were on the team too, so even more special. So
yeah, she's helping us. My older daughter's helping us coach now too, so that's kind of nice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Lara.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck to you. For Steve Bradley and our producer, Joe Bra, my name is Jeff DiVeronica. Thanks for watching us right here on our specialty Skype hotline and the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show.